Join the movement. Go all electric with Pure Electric.
I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people, the traditional custodians of the lands and waters from which I am presenting today, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and I extend that respect to First Nations people across Australia. I am presenting on Blueberry House. This is our house that I live in with my partner and our beloved dog Ava, who will feature in some of the photos. At a glance, this is a modest first home that we built on a tight budget. Land cost $330,000, build cost $486,000. Built with a volume builder who my partner Nathan worked for at the time. Nathan is an architectural draftsperson and designed the home. It's a fully custom design, even though it's volume built. The house is all electric with solar, a 7.5 star efficient home. The house size is 161 metres squared, the land size is 305 metres squared, and the build was completed in October 2023. The impetus for building rather than buying our first home was the government grants that were on offer in 2020. What I'd recommend people do if they are like us and have rented for such a long time that they have no savings is get a mortgage broker who understands government grants and concessions, because there's plenty of them still around, and this should help. The second point that I would make is don't be scared when you're looking to go for weird. This means that there might be less competition from other buyers. You can see from the photo that I've clicked here of our block, which the real estate agent used to this image, that they didn't really advertise it in a way where you could see how to access the block. It's accessible through a laneway. In addition, the land had a bizarre covenant on it that was quite restrictive, and the real estate agent couldn't give buyers a guarantee that the council would let them amend it. This was a real deterrent to other buyers, which meant that our offer was accepted and we secured the land. The final point, we could afford to build because Nathan worked for a volume builder. This was a real blessing because it gave us a fixed price contract, which meant that we weren't affected when the cost of materials skyrocketed during the build in 2022. However, we got a fully custom build because Nathan is a qualified draftsperson and worked for the volume builders. This is not on offer for the public. What you could do is go and look at volume designs and see if they have something basic that you could work with. Sustainability. It's affordable in principle. Building new gives you a chance to orientate your design on the block. It should cost you nothing to be able to orientate your house to make the most of what the sun does throughout the year. You can design for your climate. This can be simple. The photo here shows you our pergola with a deciduous table grapevine growing up it. This will shade us in summer and let that much needed in Melbourne sunlight in during winter. The vine was $20 from Preston Market. The pergola was part of our build and not an expensive part. Finally, it was a no-brainer to go all electric with our house because there was no existing gas connection. It's one less connection and service to pay for, and with solar panels, our energy bills are a fraction of the price. When we started building, people were incredulous that we were not connecting gas. By the end of the build, it had become mandatory for new built homes in Victoria to be all electric. It shows how quickly the world catches up when there's a cost saving to sustainability. Blueberry House heating and cooling. Passive heating and cooling includes living spaces orientated north for passive solar performance with operable clerestory windows to admit northern sun and stack ventilation. External eaves block the sun in summer and admit it in winter, and there is a Hecker hood awning to the front door for shading and weatherproof. We used awning windows throughout for cross ventilation. The pergola uses deciduous vines for shading as discussed previously. We have honeycomb blinds throughout. Their honey cell shape helps with insulation. Our active heating and cooling includes reverse cycle air conditioning, 10 kilowatts to the living area, study and bedrooms, and a heat pump for hot water. We have a 6,000 litre water tank providing grey water for toilets, the washing machine, our garden, and our hot water is enhanced by a Rheem Ambi-Heat 270-litre heat pump. Blueberry House is all electric with a 7-star energy rating from Australian Energy Raters. We have a 6 kilowatt solar panel system which we were able to afford through the Darebin Council Solar Saver scheme. I would encourage people to also look at the Victorian State Government solar options. All our cooking is electric with an induction cooktop and electric stove. Insulation is glass wool bats to the ceiling and walls, helped by house orientation, double-glazed windows and doors, honeycomb blinds, deciduous plant cover, hecker hood awning and outdoor eaves. Blueberry House is an L shape and wraps around a sunny north-facing courtyard. This brings natural light into our house to complement the LED lighting throughout. It also allows us to access the garden from the living, study and bedroom spaces. It gives our vegetables and flowers the sun they need to grow. All of this enhances our health and well-being. When cedar proved too expensive to clad the house in, Nath came up with the cedar box meets the blue box design, with half the house clad in cedar and the rest with painted hardy axon panels. Our fence and deck are supplied and built by Ceres Fairwood using sustainably sourced macrocarpa. Our interior choices took their cues from nature with a blue-green palette offsetting neutral shades. The interior is carpet-free. There are tiles and timber, black bark flooring throughout. The window and door design allows for cross-flow, natural ventilation, and we have indoor plants for air filtration. A new house does not mean you need new furnishings. Second-hand shopping, local-made furniture, and asking our friends to make us things supplied anything we felt we wanted to upgrade. Now for the best part, the garden. Blueberry House has a central courtyard garden, approximately 6 by 7 metres, and a back garden area of 3 metres by 15 metres. In both, we have raised garden beds, fruit trees, flowers, composting systems, and plants for future greatness. The garden is mainly DIY. Plants are mainly from cuttings from previous gardens, seeds, and trees we've had in pots for years of renting. We have used recycled bricks. Do not pay a lot for these. Keep looking until you find a reasonable price and use word of mouth. Nath has done the paving himself. We got second-hand raised colorbond garden beds ×2. We paid full price for one. Use the marketplace until you've trained the algorithm for finding things like this. We found a free outdoor setting, French mosaic. Or just keep your eyes peeled during hard rubbish. Taking your time to DIY the garden and get second-hand items saves you money and it's more sustainable. Plant for the good guys, birds, bees, butterflies and ladybirds, and you can't go wrong. Lastly, dedicate a space for water. We have done this and the sound of water brings real peace into the home, plus it's a wildlife habitat. In summary, Blueberry House is a modest first home built on a budget with volume builders using sustainable principles. We found that we have an annual saving of about $2,300 due to the sustainable features of our home. And finally, Blueberry House is in Sanctuary Magazine's latest issue, number 70. The article is called Little Secret, Support, Renew, and Get Yourself a Copy. Along with the information on where we bought the flowers from. The blue-banded bee is a good way to remember that we build for shelter, and in doing so we can improve the quality of not just our own lives but of many living things around us, from contributing to neighbourhood connection to creating spaces for wildlife. Thank you.